So obviously we talked a lot about Amazon, basic consumer stuff, right? Buying stuff from Amazon, Target, Walmart, that kind of thing. But during the holiday seasons, when it comes to hackers or purchases or whatnot, how does this affect somebody who runs a small local business or even a medium sized business? How can they be attacked in this time of the year?
So, I mean, it's like any other time of the year in regards to how they can be hacked. It's just the increase of how much is coming at you, right? You've got staff, you've got employees, maybe you're a husband and wife, maybe it's just a solopreneur operation, but you're going to have more advertisements coming at you that may or may not be legitimate, and you've got to be able to stop and look to see if it is something that is legitimate, or if you get that little itch that says, hey, this isn't right, something's wrong here, and be able to go, I know it sounds like a good deal, but I'm going to shy away from this, right? If you're going to go looking things up, look for reviews on that particular website, right? And Billy Bob's Emporium of wholesale parts might be a great place to buy auto parts, okay? But you don't know, so just do a little bit of research on it before you go clicking into the website and clicking on this fantastic deal that possibly isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Right? It's on us as consumers to do our due diligence. It's on us as business owners to, again, do our due diligence before we go buying stuff. But from a protection of ourselves to our consumers or our clients, we should already be doing a good job in the way of cybersecurity before the holidays hit, right? But if we haven't been, then it's a really good time to make that a little bit more robust.
Yeah.
And that could be that you need to get a better firewall. That could be that you need better anti-spam and anti-phishing. Maybe you should be training your employees better. I do recommend that. Right? But there are a lot of things in the way of cybersecurity that need to take place for a business. And if they're not doing it, this is a prime point in time for a business to get hit, because you do have so many people shopping online.
Yeah.
And as much as we all want to say, oh, my staff wouldn't do that, they're wholly devoted to their job and they're only going to do the paperwork and click the buttons and type on the keyboard. The reality is they take lunch breaks at the very least, and they're probably going to do some shopping. They're doing some shopping on your corporate network. Now, if they go to the wrong place and they click the wrong place and you don't have the right securities in place, it's very possible that they could get your entire network infected, and ransomware is very proliferant at this point in time because there are so many opportunities.
Yeah.
So many people are clicking on so many different things. So all those threats that we are concerned about as consumers buying from Amazon or Billy Bob's Wholesale Emporium, your staff are probably doing the same exact thing during the lunch breaks. We'll say that they're only doing it during the lunch breaks, but the reality is they're probably doing it during the lunch breaks, because when else do we have time?
Yeah.
And so those threats that we're concerned about hitting us as consumers, we as business owners should also be very concerned about those hitting us, because let's face it, as business owners, we have an entire staff that we have to worry about being able to provide a paycheck for, not just ourselves. And so that stress, I know, wears on me as a business owner. And so not just because we're a great IT company, but because I really want us to be able to stay in business,
Yeah.
I'm going to have good security, right? And in fact, we apply all of our securities to all of our systems, but we want to make sure that businesses are aware that their staff can be just as deadly to their company while shopping online as they can be to their own personal computers at home by doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And something you kind of mentioned about is the whole time thing, and this is one thing I thought about, is I feel like I get like the spam calls. I feel like the spam calls, at least for the average person like me, happen pretty much from, I'd say, like 7 to, I don't know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's almost kind of like that, even though they're in nighttime, I'm still getting all the spam calls during the day. Now, I feel like when it comes to the emails or the hacking or kind of the behind the scenes stuff, one thing that is, I feel like, something kind of big to bring up is these hackers don't take vacation. They don't sleep on the same time as we do.
They don't need to.
Exactly. So I feel like if you can kind of dive a little bit into the whole time of hackers might not attack you during the day. They might attack you during the holidays, during the weekends, during your nights off, right? And if nobody's monitoring that, nobody's checking it, right? So dive a little bit into that kind of aspect.
So a recent hack that took place with one of the larger AI search engines or chat whatevers was that they leveraged the AI to automate a hack against about 23 major corporations throughout the world, and it was 70 or 80% accomplished through this AI. So they hacked the AI, the jailbroke it is the term, and they used it to put together a fairly prolific hack against 23 major companies worldwide. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details of that, but what we're talking about is that AI and just automation in general are ways that hackers use to do this 24/7.
Yeah, because AI doesn't sleep.
Right. And the automation that they have built into things is very, very good. It used to be that we just had to worry about a rule being injected into your email rules, and suddenly it'll automatically respond to any of the replies from a particular set of email subject lines that says, "Oh yeah, I sent that. You're good." And you would never see that email because it would either get deleted, although the hackers figured out that we were looking into stuff like that, and so they, instead of deleting it, they moved it to the RSS feed because nobody ever looks in their RSS feed folder.
Yeah, because people like me don't even know what an RSS feed is.
Right. And so why would you look at it?
Exactly.
Right? It's just a folder that's there that you ignore.
Yeah.
So you never look at it. Well, hackers have gone from doing that to getting a little bit more sophisticated as AI develops, but there's always been an automation built into this, right? At least for the past 20 years. How else do you have a ransomware that pops up on the computer for you and says, hey, you have 48, 72 hours to pay this ransomware, buy one Bitcoin and deposit it into this account, and then, hopefully you trust us as illegal criminals to keep our word and unlock your system.
Yeah. Which, that'd be fair to do, right?
Well, and then do you trust them not to hack you again? Because let's face it, if you were vulnerable once, you would think that we would learn our lesson and go, oh, we need to fix that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people, they pay the ransom, and then a year later, they get hacked. And I've got one cute little story. The FBI or Interpol was closing in on one hacker group, and they knew it. So they shut down their operation. But before they shut down their operation, they went to another hacking group and say, hey, we've got a whole bunch of companies that we know are vulnerable, and we've got to run, but we'll give you that list and tell you exactly what all the vulnerabilities are. Just pay us $1 million. And so the other hacking group said,
Yeah.
that's easy money. Here's $1 million. They went through, and some of these companies had just gotten hacked like a month earlier, and some of them had been hacked a year earlier. That hacking group went and ransomed all of them. So within a year, a whole bunch of companies got ransomed again by a completely different hacker group because the original one was running for the hills to get away from the police.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. Is once you learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, you can mix it up and jumble it up as much as you can. It's just a matter of how much time they're going to get till they solve it. And the only way to fix that or make it more difficult is add more layers, add more squares, make them spend more time. And I think it's kind of an interesting concept of when somebody goes, well, I'm not that big, right? I'm not this large corporation. I'm not the Pentagon. I don't have national files or, so why would they hack me?
Well, why would they hack an individual user? It's not because your information is necessarily high value. It's that you have bank accounts just like anybody else. You have credit cards. And hey, why not order something on your credit card for $500? Right?
Yeah.
Unless you've got some type of system that stops it from being charged.